Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me, and welcome to Thursday, November 25th World Session. I can't believe we're already the 25th of November, and I'm just being pulled in like a magnet into the session. So I'm gonna go ahead and breathe first and ground. And if you can do that with me, just go ahead and do that for yourselves, actually, just to breathe into that center. Breathe, and your center could change every day, but really bring into that center space. My hands just do this naturally. And notice what happens when you breathe gently and quietly back into the center space. Oh, there's an automatic relaxation happening around the diaphragm. So first thing, I'm moving into that diaphragm. So we're in the diaphragm just beneath the lungs, around the rib cage, and there's some spots that feel sticky around the rib cage, some in that diaphragm, some fascial tissue that's congested, and some places that are, it's like sticky against the back, some is congested on the right. So your body will do exactly what it needs for you in this moment. But breathing, we're going to focus in on breath. Focusing in on breath and how deeply it can shift. I don't want to say deeply, how significantly, or following the breath all the way through releases tension. So if you've got good breath and you know how to breathe well, you can put all practitioners out of business. There would be no need. There would be no need for sessions. I say perfect breath, perfect health. So just bringing in that capacity for air to come through, bringing the clean oxygenated blood, circulating it through the entire body, all of its organs and its systems. But it feels like it gets clogged. It comes in and then it just gets bunged up within the diaphragm. It doesn't move, the diaphragm doesn't move open and close in this nice flowing that opens. So expands and contracts, expands and contracts. It feels like there's parts of it that say stuck, some parts of it that open too much. So we need to do a repair to the breathing cycle, but first to the diaphragm. And now there's all these emotions gathered up within the diaphragm, especially grief. So here's the grief coming in. No, grief is a natural emotion. It's not good, it's not bad, it's part, the body knows what to do with it, it moves energy. But then this is that, oh, good grief, Charlie Brown. Like, how many times can you do the same thing over and over again? So I don't know if you know Charlie Brown or the cartoon Peanuts. Lucy says, "Come on, Charlie Brown, I'm going to hold the football for you." And she's holding the football and she's like, "Go on, Charlie Brown, give it a kick." And then she takes away the football each time and he's laying on his back. And she says something like, "Oh, good grief, Charlie Brown." And so need to transmute that in a way. I'm feeling all this anxiety and anxiousness now coming in with that, and the harshness of the mind, and the harshness of thoughts. And in comes comparing myself. So comparing yourself to others, comparing yourself to your ideal. So comparing yourself to this ideal that you have of yourself. So also comparing yourself to what you were 10, 15 years ago, comparing yourself to, well, that's a big one. Comparing yourself to parents, to friends, to colleagues, comparing your life. There's all this comparison going on. Can you feel the weight of that? comparing myself, comparing myself, comparing myself, comparing myself. So I'm repeating this to trigger all of the places and all of the aspects and all of the ways that you compare yourself, that comparison happens. Oh, and it just feels so heavy. It feels like my arms just want to fall off. Just feel the weight of comparing myself. Oh, and then that comes, oh, good grief, Charlie Brown. You did it again. You did it again. You're in the same place again. How could you do this with your finances again? How could you do this with your relationships again? And again, and again, and again. And then the comparison over and over, this gigantic loop. There's just never any kind of relief from it. And the grief builds up. The grief builds up within that diaphragmatic system, and it's sticky and it's unable to bring in fully the breath of life. And life is change. Anything can change in a moment, but not when you're comparing yourself. So just feel the weight of that comparison. I'm feeling just utterly exhausted. And it's like my hands have gone completely limp, like they're just useless. I feel like I'm being cut off. Oh, so we have a few impacts here. It's what we call in body talk, like the three-ring circus. So what I'm witnessing, or what I'm observing, is few things, a few aspects that are impacting that diaphragm from expanding fully. You need a nice healthy diaphragm. It moves the blood, gets that healthy oxygenated blood, and massages the organs. It gets the lymphs moving around the abdomen. You need a nice healthy diaphragm. So you can just tune into your body and see where it feels sticky for you, or where it feels hard. It actually feels solid. It feels hard and rigid. And that rigidity is a body armoring from comparing myself, even comparing my body. I was in health last year. I'm struggling this year, and then I want to be what I was. Oof, it's just completely anti-life, completely rejecting what is, and in essence, really a rejection of self. Okay, so we're going through first past lives. We're moving through a string of past lives here. I'm just going to go quiet and see. We're going back 200 past lives. Oh, good grief. So what's coming in? Funny, I said good grief. So what's coming in 200 past lives for women was the corsets. Oh my God. Those tight corsets, you pull them so tight, you kind of take your breath away. They would break your ribs. Oh, I'm just feeling that disintegration of the lungs. It smushes up the organs. So dumping years of corset wearing from the diaphragm. Oh my God. I'm starting to feel dizzy because the breath, like my brain finally got a boost of oxygen. So it seems all of this breath being contracted. And then in comes so there's corset wearing. I'm seeing something. So starvation, years of being starved. So from not having enough food, and then also being on the opposite side, having plenty and having a big belly. in those differentials of classes. So extreme poverty to overabundance. So the absolute extremes where it went into gluttony. And that also impacted the lungs and made the lungs heavy with and the diaphragm fatty. And so it wasn't able to open and expand, to expand and contract properly with breath. So we're dumping that, but especially those corset years, any past life that had to do with a corset. And this is also for men, anytime they were, I don't know, if there was any bondage or slavery, anything around that waist being cinched in from different cultures. Oh, I'm just feeling the tightness of that right in my back. It feels like I'm being stabbed right in the back. Now just take a nice deep breath. At the same time, we have some matrix work to do. Going into some family matrix. And just seeing rows and rows of it's like baggage and people before you. Meaning that in your daily life, you are not the star of your own show. Right now, you're looking at, I see parents, grandparents, and even children. This is the incorrect placement. The child, parent always looks at the child's back, and the child looks forward into their life. And then if you have kids, you're looking at your children's back, fully supporting them, and your children look forward into their own life. So let's say everyone needs to reorganize. We need to reorganize. So you can take a deep breath and watch your family reorganizing. Notice for yourself where you're standing within your family. Are your parents in front of you? Or are they behind you? Are you turned around and facing your parents backwards? Are you turned around and facing your children? So you can just see for yourself where you are. Strange, aunts and uncles, and even siblings are coming in here, like interjumbled. We need to go ahead and place everybody in their correct order so that you are looking onto your own life fully. And in comes some gentleness. In comes that comparison again. But I got to look at my parents to see how I should be. And also to make sure that I'm not like them. Whew, that's really hard. I got to make sure that my children are looking at me so I can teach them and I can explain to them how life goes and I can pass on my luggage to them. Oh, I feel so, I don't have a word for it. It feels so gross. So in comes autonomy or growing up, where you don't need to pick up the baggage left from your parents or from your grandparents or so on and so on, but you do need to carry your own. Growing up, becoming autonomous, being responsible in your life starts with you. Responsible fully for your choices, for your actions, for your words, for your behaviors. That's a very empowering place. I can see blame victim consciousness. There's no space for it when you're fully responsible for yourself. Even if there's mistakes made, who cares? I made a mistake. How children say, I'm sorry. They break something, they knock it over. Oh, God, I'm sorry. I knocked it over. Let me clean that up. Or can you help me clean up, mommy? Can you help me clean it up, mommy, daddy? And it's done. There we go. So if you have people in front of you, you got to move them behind you. The only people that stay in front of you are your children. And if your children are facing you, this is incorrect. Your children have to turn around and face their own life, and you make sure that you're looking at their back. Parents, 100 support, love and support their children. 100%. 100%. Great. Now, from this perspective, see if you're looking at your parents. Are you turned around and facing your parents? If yes, you turn yourself around and you look forward into your life. There we go. Oh, this is such a beautiful, what a beautiful thing. So I see children turning around facing their life. If you're a parent, you're facing your children. Your parents are now looking at your back. You're looking forward into your life, into your children. I just see everyone taking their place and facing their own life. Everyone's just turning around. Oof. This is going for a long line of ancestry. We're going back 1,000 years. It's just like this beautiful domino. Everyone's just turning around and facing their own life. Ooh. Oh, now the gut has relaxed, but now I'm big and bloated. And my mouth has gone dry and my throat is tight. Well, we're going to go first into, it's actually a relationship between the gut and the mouth. So your digestive system starts 1 inch before your mouth. And this is on a consciousness level that you're speaking clear discernment. I know it sounds weird to say that, but that your mouth is speaking the discernment from the gut. Ooh. So no poisoned words. So anytime, no speaking with a forked tongue. We're going to go ahead and do a toxin release from the tongue. Right, it's so bitter in my mouth. And this is all of the mean things that you say, especially about yourself. Even if you don't say it out loud, you think it. So we're going to go ahead and do a toxin flush. Intolerances to mean words. It's just toxic on the tongue. We're going to go deep within the tongue into the buds of the tongue, the saliva, the salival glands, even the teeth and the gums. No poisonous words against yourself or others. I feel like spitting it out. My mouth is, I feel like just, it's like all of that verbal diarrhea, right? Just listening to your thoughts, believing they're true without even asking a question, discerning without even asking. So just all of these assumptions. No curiosity. Is what I'm thinking true? Am I following a thought? Am I assuming? Am I making up stories? Am I fantasizing? All of those things trapped within the mouth. So we're going to go ahead and do a 5 senses dumping to the whole mouth. I'm seeing the whole gum structure, the tongue, the teeth, even going down into the throat. We're going to do a 5 senses to individuation. And we're going to dump all of those filters, subtle and physical, from the mouth. There it goes. And as that correlates directly to the small intestines, you need a healthy gut. So there's a little bit of, there's some weakness within the small intestines. I'm going to go and strengthen those, that healthy microflora, the gut bacteria, struggling a bit. I need some vitamins, so we're bringing in, I need some vitamin D, some vitamin C, some zinc, manganese, magnesium, vitamin K, B1 B complexes. So B, especially B3, B6, B12. So that's going to help energy levels. It feels kind of weakened. And folate. So lots of leafy greens and some spinach, some good spinach in there. I don't know, it just wants to be, I can see it like, give me spinach. So bringing in all of those potassium and healthy, there it goes. It feels like Popeye is just, you don't know, for those of you who know Popeye, he eats spinach and then he gets nice and strong. So I can see them, they're a little bit deprived. And so I was talking before the session started that we have no idea what we need to take care of ourselves. Or we have too many ideas of what we need to take care of ourselves. So I know exactly what food I need to eat. I know what not to eat, what to drink, what not to drink, vitamins to take, not vitamins to take, how much sleep I need. And it turns into this unwavering recipe when your body is changing all of the time and in comes comparing. Yeah, but I ate, I was able to eat this last week. I don't understand why I can't eat this now. Well, because you're continually changing. And so there lacks the flexibility to actually tune in and it's just following recipes. So now the stomach is finally relaxing. And bringing back in a body vive axis to the small intestines. It just feels like it's been put on the wayside. Oh, I don't need to discern. I'll just follow my thoughts because my thoughts are true. No, bringing the intestines back in to a healthy relationship of discernment with the mouth. I thought I was going to go to liver for organizing or gallbladder or the rest, the stomach or the large intestines, but it's right to the mouth. So it's speaking those gut reactions. Do you want to come to the party? No, thank you. Do you want to come to the party? Okay. But then if that changes when you're sitting at the party, you can get up and go, I need to leave now. And then you can just say, I need to leave now. Bringing it back to that space within that diaphragm that I was speaking of you are the star of your own show. Oh, there's the relief. All right, take a nice deep breath. I'm tapping this in. Beautiful. Thought I was done. End of session. Nope, we're going to do one last link. We're going right into the nervous system, right deep into that myelin sheath. I'm seeing all of these habit patterns of comparison, comparing myself, comparing my fine. You can think about where you do this for yourself, right? So I compare my money, I compare my looks, I compare my body, I compare my work, I compare my business, I compare my kids, I compare my parents, I compare myself to these things, I compare myself to, it's just so burdened. The myelin, the nervous, no wonder the nervous system isn't able to really tune in to your needs. It's not able to. It's got all of this heaviness of comparison on top of it. Oh God, no wonder. Now we're going to do consciousness dumping of comparison from the myelin sheath. I'm going to anchor that to individuation and then do a diaphragm small intestine link for synthesis and neutralization. Oof. And we're going to set this to repeat as an interactive recursive, especially on that myelin sheath for the next 3 days, 3 to 5 a.m. Oh, oof. There it is. All right, I'm going to go ahead and tap this in, take a nice deep breath. Oh my God, it keeps coming up, keeps moving. Now you can just quietly tune in. Just tune in and see how your body feels now. Great. the static electricity that I was feeling before is dissipated. My stomach has deflated and my breath is more full. Wonderful. See how this goes for you for the next few days. And if you like to, just go ahead and email me or contact me. And I'd love to hear your shifts. See you next week.